Right now, it's a rainy start to your first weekend of the holiday shopping season and another busy travel weekend, too. The new weather warnings that could impact your drive home. And this year's Battle of the Axe may be the most important one yet. The countdown to kickoff is on. Our team is in Minneapolis with what's on the line for the Badgers' last regular season game of the year.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. On behalf of Chris and I, we want to officially welcome you to the holiday season. It's something that we have been celebrating just kind of by ourselves for the past month. We've had our trees up. We've started listening to the Christmas music. So welcome.
Welcome. Yes, welcome to join the party. Yesterday morning, I was here and it started snowing. We didn't have the trees up on the patio yet, but it was snowing, and I thought, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and I could finally say it. So that was certainly some good news. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to put any snow on the ground, at least as we go through today and not here. But as folks begin to travel, you will certainly see some snow on the ground as you work your way towards the north. We're watching some snowflakes up near Fond du Lac, Manitowoc, and Sheboygan right now. Outside of that, it's just been the drizzle, folks. High-resolution Doppler looks clear, but as you step outside, there's a lot of fog and low drizzle that's not exactly going to show up on radar just yet, but look for things to change as we go throughout the rest of the day. 36 degrees right now, winds out of the east at about 12 miles per hour. We're going to see those winds picking up, but we're also going to see those temperatures climbing as well. In fact, we'll likely see them in the upper 30s as we head into the afternoon. But folks, as we look ahead, this is the storm system that's going to be having a very high impact on your weekend and for folks who are going to be traveling. So this is what we're going to be ironing out as we go through the show, Christina.
We were talking cold rain isn't great. It's probably a good day to stay inside, and that's good news considering people have a lot of their fridges to clean out. You have a lot of food, family.
Trees to put up if you haven't done it yet. Those outdoor decorations, they can wait at this point just because the rain that's coming in. And it would be one thing if it were maybe snowing and you were trying to put up outdoor decorations, but if you're here in southern Wisconsin, today is just not that day.
Okay, well, you'll have more good news later in the show.
Yes, I will.
Check back in with you in just a few minutes, Chris. But first, this weekend's precipitation that Chris just told you about could once again impact your travel plans. Snow in the forecast for today, slick roads tomorrow. AAA is now encouraging all drivers to leave plenty of time. And it's not just Wisconsin getting hit this weekend. Stormy weather has been pounding parts of the west with snow, and rain and wind is forecasted to head east over the next few days. Even California's normally bone-dry Death Valley didn't escape the storm. In one day, that desert got 3 months worth of rain. Due to the weather expected this weekend, a couple of the biggest airline companies are offering waivers for passengers traveling through the Northeast. For American Airlines, that includes nearly 30 airports. For Delta, it's around 24. Both of those include some of the biggest hubs in the country, including New York City and Boston. And if you're away from your TV this weekend, be sure to stay up to date on the incoming local conditions with our Channel 3000 First Alert weather and traffic app. That includes our free local forecasts, interactive radars, and up-to-the-minute travel and road conditions. The other big story of the day, the Badgers. The Wisconsin football team is in Minneapolis, ready to battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. I should have worn my red this morning. The Badgers and Gophers are part of the longest continuous rivalry in college football, and today's game is arguably the most important matchup ever since the series started in 1890. RJ Wilson joins us from Minneapolis with a final preview.
The 129th meeting between the Wisconsin and Minnesota football teams is one of the most significant in its history. It's pretty simple. The winner of the game wins the Big Ten West Championship and will face #1 ranked Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis next Saturday. The Badgers certainly have motivation. They spent a year looking at a trophy case that doesn't have Paul Bunyan's axe. The Gophers won it back for the first time in 14 years, and it's really been bugging the Badgers.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Not looking back at all, everything that we've done will mean nothing if we don't win this game. So, we definitely want to make it memorable.
And a lot of guys in our program right now don't know what it felt like to not have it. So now just walk in the locker room and see it empty, it's a different feeling, and we have a different mindset going into this one.
The legacy here, as far as how long the Axe has been here, and being that one team that let it slip away. So now you got to do everything in your power to try to get it back and kind of restart a streak.
The weather could be a real issue for the game. A winter storm warning could dump anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of snow on TCF Bank Stadium. But if you play football in Minnesota in November, hey, it could happen.
This isn't Florida. I mean, we all know that. I mean, as much as we recruit and bring people up and they come to my house in June, that lake freezes. It's not that hard to figure out.
This season, the Gophers have had trouble filling TCF Bank Stadium for their home games. They did it against Penn State a couple of weeks ago, and the Gopher fans will be out to make it a home field advantage against the Badgers on Saturday. In Minneapolis, Jay Wilson, News 3 Now Sports.
Thanks to Jay for that. And our sports team will have live reports from Minneapolis during our evening shows. Kickoff is at 2:30. Go Badgers. The Packers have a chance to make it 3 wins and 3 chances after losses when they travel to New York to face the Giants tomorrow at MetLife Stadium. The team is now 8-3 after last weekend's loss in San Francisco, but the Pack hasn't lost 2 games in a row this season. A win over the Giants would put the team 1 step closer to the postseason. Kickoff is at noon. More local news now. Several law enforcement agencies in Dane County will continue their search today for an elderly couple who went missing after Thanksgiving dinner. Don and Colleen Soper left their family's house Thursday at 3 o'clock. They said they were going for a country drive, but ever since then, their family hasn't been able to find them. They're both 87 years old. Colleen has Alzheimer's with dementia, and Donald has diabetes, and his daughter isn't sure he has insulin on him.
All we can do is search for them and continue to expand our search and pray.
The couple was driving a 2008 Dodge Caliber. It last pinged at the intersection of Highway J and 78. Right now, that's where the search is centered. We now know the name of the elderly woman killed in a Thanksgiving night fire in Beaver Dam. 82-year-old Eleanor Newman was planning on moving out of her house near Beaver Dam Lake in the town of Westford in just a couple of weeks. She died from her injuries in the hospital. Her 91-year-old husband, Ruben, was also taken to the hospital, but he is expected to be okay. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. A 38-year-old man from Darlington has been arrested after driving into the Grand Lighted Holiday Parade route in downtown Beloit last night. Police say the driver, identified as Curtis Metz, drove past a squad car and through the barrier at Park Street and Grand Avenue, prompting a chase that eventually ended in Winnebago County, Illinois. No one was injured. Metz is now facing several charges, including a 5th offense OWI. Madison area businesses are hoping you remember them as you start your holiday shopping. Today is the 10th annual Small Business Saturday. Downtown Middleton and downtown Madison are celebrating with open houses. There's a holiday trolley ride running along State Street with welcome bags and treats for your kids. There will also be free ice cream from 11 until 1 at the newly renovated Garver Feed Mill. And Monroe Street stores are giving away prizes like canvas bags. 67 cents of every dollar spent at a local store any day of the year stays in the community. Wisconsin farmers are also asking you to shop local as you pick out this year's Christmas tree. The state has more than 850 Christmas tree farms, putting Wisconsin at 5th in the country for the number of acres in production. More than 700,000 evergreens are harvested every season, generating more than $16 million for Wisconsin's economy. Around Madison, you can drop by Hahn's Christmas Tree Farm outside of Oregon, Jensen Trees over in Verona, and Summers in Middleton, just to name a few. The price of a Christmas tree is up, according to the National Christmas Tree Association. It's a wintry mix of supply and demand. America is facing a Christmas tree shortage, while at the same time consumer demand is higher, especially from millennials. Despite the tight supply, the association assures everyone that if you want a tree, you will be able to find one this year. If you missed Black Friday crowds but don't want to pass up on those deals, you are in luck. Although Black Friday is still one of the biggest, busiest shopping days of the year and the best day to pick up things like a new TV, some of the biggest savings on just about everything else can be found online.
Big tech items, I'd still go in store, but clothing, home goods, all of those other items you're going to gift, pajamas, socks, really Cyber Monday is probably your day to do it.
This is actually the shortest holiday shopping season in a long time due to Thanksgiving coming so late this year. Because of that, some retailers have tried to make up for those lost shopping days by rolling out online deals early. A reminder that Cyber Monday is 2 days away, this Monday. Those online orders will soon start showing up at our doorsteps at Madison. Please put out this video, to remind online shoppers to be cautious of porch pirates. Please recommend having packages delivered to your workplace instead of your house. They say shoppers should sign up for email or text notifications so you know when a package arrives. Now to perhaps the best story of the morning, the whole week. A special welcome home this weekend for nearly 200 Wisconsin National Guard soldiers. The Red Arrow 2nd Battalion, 127th Infantry, has been in Afghanistan since late last year. They were welcomed back during a ceremony at Volk Field Friday, exactly 1 year since their send-off ceremony at Lambeau Field. They have been demobilizing at Fort Bliss in Texas for the past few weeks. Another 200 soldiers from the same battalion also returned to the U.S. last weekend. Their homecoming ceremony has not yet been planned. But congratulations to them and welcome back. Time now, 8:10. After a rainy start to the day, there is a silver lining to this weekend's weather. Chris will tell us why things are finally looking up weather-wise heading into the month of December. This is a live look over the Capitol this morning. We're back with your first alert forecast right after this.
Well, folks, if you remember watching yesterday, one of the things I said that we would be watching for across the upper Midwest today is a powerful winter storm. And folks, that is exactly what we see on the maps this morning, especially throughout the high plains. Places like the Dakotas under a blizzard warning. You have snow moving into northern Wisconsin and parts of Minnesota. That only increases as we have throughout the day. And there it is, folks, the winter storm warnings, blizzard warnings, and winter weather advisories that a lot of folks, especially travelers in these directions, are going to have to be dealing with as we go through time. And those winter weather advisories don't include Madison, but all of our viewers just towards the north. Columbia, Portage, Poinette, the Dells, Sauk City, you are under those winter weather advisories for the possibility of some freezing rain earlier on this morning. So I do expect those advisories to come down for you guys as we head closer towards the noontime hours. But if you're headed towards northern Wisconsin, it continues to get worse as we go through today and into tomorrow. Here's high resolution Doppler right now. We're actually in a little bit of a break for now. So we did see some sleet just towards the north and east earlier this morning. We had some freezing rain and sleet towards the west earlier. That has since cleared on out. And of course, we are dry here in Madison with the exception of some fog and drizzle at times. That's the same case as you work your way down towards Milton and Janesville also. So we're going to continue to look out the window as we go throughout the day. Temperatures gradually warm up through the 30s. We're at 36 right now with some light rain at the airport. Winds out of the east at 11. 37 in Janesville. But notice that freezing mark. It's close. Places like Camp Douglas and Wautoma at 32 degrees, but that gradually moves north throughout the day. We'll see more and more of the rain joining the picture then as we head into tomorrow. The colder air rushes in. You see all that snow towards the north and west. Well, that gradually moves towards the south and east into tomorrow afternoon, and that might actually put down a little bit of snowfall on the ground. We're looking at the possibility of perhaps an inch or so as you work your way from Madison and point to the north, especially towards the north. Places like Green Bay, the Twin Cities, Marshfield, Wautoma, you could all be looking at several inches of snow as you head towards those directions. So folks, please be prepared for that as you continue to head on out. We do have an alert day for Sunday due to the travel. It's also going to be very windy. But here's another good news that Christina alluded to earlier on in the show. The week ahead, we're talking Monday through Sunday, looks pretty good. We'll see some more clouds on Tuesday probably, but then ultimately we do stay dry before another chance of some rain and snow next Sunday night into next Monday.
Boy, does that week look beautiful. Thank you for that, Chris.
My
but
pleasure.
First, a lot of people are concerned about the Badgers game, the forecast. I saw a lot of snow going up north. Do you think it'll impact kickoff at 2:30?
It will impact the travel to the game, but as far as kickoff, it's football weather. I think they're ready to go.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
Both teams are no stranger to winter. Thank you so much,
Let's go,
Chris.
Wisconsin. My pleasure.
Well, you'll start seeing more holiday decorations around the Madison area this holiday weekend. Overnight, kids shared their Christmas wish lists with Santa, and families got into the holiday spirit at the annual Sun Prairie Fire Truck Parade. Trucks were decorated for the season as they drove down Main Street, and Santa Claus used a little of his magic to light the downtown holiday tree. Following the parade, kids and their parents were able to explore the inside of fire trucks while police listened to holiday music downtown. Time now, 8:17. One of music's biggest names is canceling several tour dates due to injury, and one of TV's biggest franchises is celebrating a major milestone. And then our Will Loper shares the top movies you should be watching this holiday weekend. Trending news just ahead on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. Welcome back. Let's take a look at what is trending this morning. After a 10-year break, the Pussycat Dolls are heading back out on tour. Multi-platinum girl group has lined up 9 performances in the UK in April of next year. The Pussycat Dolls released their debut album back in 2005 and have sold an estimated 54 million records worldwide. Tickets for their 2020 tour go on sale tomorrow. In the meantime, Madonna is canceling 3 upcoming shows of her Madam X tour due to medical issues. The 61-year-old says she had to cancel her shows in Boston this weekend due to overwhelming pain from multiple past injuries. In a statement posted on her Instagram, she apologized to fans, saying, "Please forgive this unexpected turn of events. The shows will not be rescheduled, but refunds will be issued." And the cast and crew of NCIS Los Angeles are celebrating the show's 250th episode. The show marked the milestone with a massive cake at a table reading. Cast member Eric Christian Olsen, who plays Detective Marty Deeks, co-wrote the episode. NCIS LA airs tomorrow night right here on News 3. But first, with family in town, maybe you're looking for a relaxing way to eat your Thanksgiving leftovers and just lounge around this Saturday. And boy, are we here to help. Our Will Loper shares this weekend's 3 things to watch.
Well, no one told me about her.
I think what happened to my mom is that she got so focused on her family, she forgot about herself.
Honey, are you getting enough sleep?
Sleep? What's that? New on home video this week is Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
Paul, you'll never guess what happened. She disappeared. Bernadette jumped out a window.
Kate Blanchett stars as a woman who has it all and goes missing, so her family sets out to solve the mystery of where she disappeared to.
A huge project has come up that will require me to go to Antarctica.
It's twice the challenge anyone ever imagines, with long stretches without sleep and exercise.
Sounds like I've been in training for this for the last 20 years.
Where'd You Go, Bernadette is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
I'm a man. I want you to meet my cousin, Russell Buffalino.
How are you? Hi, nice to meet you.
It was like the Army. You followed orders. You did the right thing.
Newly streaming on Netflix this week is the film The Irishman.
A friend of ours is having a little trouble. Friend at the top.
Back then, there was nobody in this country who didn't know who Jimmy Hoffa was.
Martin Scorsese directs the story of a hitman and his relationship to Jimmy Hoffa, with a cast for the ages, which include Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, and many more.
It's what it is.
What it is. I know things they don't know I know.
The Irishman is streaming on Netflix now.
It's gonna happen. Either way, he's going.
My name is Noelle Kringle.
Morning, Princess. My partridge in a pear tree underwear needs washing.
Oh, well, then my Christmas wish has been granted.
And now that Thanksgiving is over, Christmas movie watching can officially start. So check out a new one on Disney Plus called Noel.
For the first time in 2,000 years, Santa has disappeared.
I just said he should take the weekend off.
We must have a new Santa. Gabriel Kringle.
Me? I'm in the tech department and loving it.
What about a rescue mission?
Anna Kendrick plays the daughter of Santa Claus, who must find her missing brother Nick so that Christmas can still happen.
Stay right where you are.
We are looking for Santa Claus.
You don't tell anybody who you are.
Where are you from? A little town up north.
Or where you came from.
Sir, it's a privilege to wear that suit. Put some pants on. So naughty.
Noel is available to stream on Disney Plus now.
Hello. We like your pants. They're jolly.
They're yoga pants, like yours.
These are my yogurt pants.
No, yoga pants.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
And in case anyone's wondering, my grandpa saw The Irishman. He really liked it as well. He gave it an 8 out of 10, he told me. Well, there's much more news ahead on News 3. Now, next, we're running through the morning's top stories, including everything that's on the line for the Badgers as the longest continuous rivalry in college football continues today. We're right back. Right now, we're sharing the story of a local teacher who's showing us that music can truly speak to anyone. We'll introduce you to this month's top-notch teacher right now.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend with some family, friends, maybe a bowl of leftovers as well. I'm Christina Laurie. We'll get a check of your first alert forecast with Chris in just a second. But first, here are 3 things to know as you begin your day. Several law enforcement agencies here in Dane County will continue their search today for an elderly couple who went missing after Thanksgiving dinner. Don and Colleen Soper left their family's house Thursday at 3 o'clock. They said they were going for a country drive, but ever since then, their family hasn't been able to find them. They are both 87 years old. Colleen has Alzheimer's with dementia, and Donald has diabetes. His daughter isn't sure he has his insulin on him. They were driving a 2008 Dodge Caliber. It last pinged at the intersection of Highway J and 78. Right now, that's where the search is centered. Wisconsin farmers are asking you to shop local while picking out your Christmas tree this weekend. The state has more than 850 Christmas tree farms, which puts Wisconsin at 5th in the country for the number of acres in production. More than 700,000 evergreens are harvested every season, generating more than $16 million for Wisconsin's economy. Around Madison, you could drop by Hahn's Christmas Tree Farm outside of Oregon, Jensen Trees in Verona, and Summers out in Middleton, just to name a few. And this weekend's weather could once again impact your travel plans. With snow in the forecast for today, slick roads tomorrow, AAA is encouraging all drivers to leave plenty of time. It's not just Wisconsin getting hit this weekend. Stormy weather has been pounding parts of the west, with snow and rain and wind is forecasted to head east over the next few days. Even California's normally bone-dry Death Valley didn't escape the storm. In one day, the desert got 3 months worth of rain. And rain is the main story this morning here, Chris.
Yeah, that's right. We've been watching some of the rain and the fog over the Madison skyline pretty much all morning long. Here's how things look outside right now. Temperature-wise, we're at 36. I think we gradually warm up temperature-wise going throughout the day, but still, we're staying primarily in the 30s for those highs. Here is the winter storm that we're tracking across the country. We have a blizzard warning just off of Superior in northern Michigan, winter storm warnings through northern Wisconsin, all throughout the state of Minnesota, not Michigan. Here we are with winter storm warnings and blizzard warnings throughout parts of South Dakota and into Nebraska as well. This is the storm system responsible for all of the colors that you see on that map, but this warm front should keep things as rain for us here in Madison. Eventually, this low pushes towards the east. This is when we likely see that snow come back into the picture as we head into tomorrow afternoon. We're going to time this out again and continue to focus on where those travel impacts will be as we come further up in the show.
A lot going on this weekend. Thank you, Chris. Police in London are continuing their search right now for a motive into a new terror attack in the British capital. It happened on the London Bridge when a man wielding a knife went on a stabbing spree, killing 2 people and seriously wounding 3 others. Witnesses say he was wearing a suicide vest, but the vest turned out to be fake. Police shot and killed that attacker. Another stabbing attack in the Netherlands Friday at a shopping district in The Hague. The suspect there is still on the loose. A police spokesperson says all 3 stabbing victims are minors, but there is no indication of a terrorist motive. The conditions of the victims are still unknown. More local news now. A UW-Madison freshman is running for Common Council, and if elected, he'd be the youngest alder. 18-year-old Mes Presti Giacomo is an active member of the community. If elected, he hopes to change the way the city's handling things like climate change, social injustice, and housing. Most importantly, he says he hopes to inspire other young people just like him to get involved in politics and work towards change they want to see.
I think the big thing for me is that it's an inspirational moment, not just like from people that came to the protests, the organizers, but people who were watching it on TV, young people, you know, maybe that there's an elementary schooler like watching TV when his parents, like he sees that or she sees that and says, wow, like there's an opportunity for young people to actually be making a difference.
Max is majoring in political science and history at UW. You can learn more about him in the full story posted up on our website, channel3000.com. Time now, 8:33. Music speaks to people and can speak for you when words can't. That's a direct quote from this month's top-notch teacher. Charlotte DeLeste and photojournalist Kathy King have more on Mark Saltzman's story.
Music that moves us moves too. It rises and falls, ebbs and flows, much like the ocean.
He's on this boat in the middle of the ocean.
Mark Saltzman has been immersed in music his entire life, and it started with his mom.
She's 87, soon to be 88, and we all my sisters and I had to take piano lessons. Not a choice.
First piano, then trumpet, which he proudly played under the instruction of the legendary Mike Leckrone.
He would always pride himself on the Thursday of Reg Week, he would know all the freshmen's name. That's like 200 people. And he did it. It was amazing. And the first time I met him, he's like, "You're Saltzman, right? From Janesville?" I'm like, "How did you know that?" People want that one-on-one connection.
That respect for connection led him to rooms like this. 31 years of leading pep bands, marching bands, orchestras, you name it. But it always came back to connection with students, any student who wanted to play.
Music is for everyone, and everyone can take part. That's why I enjoy this class so much.
This class gets all musicians involved. Some are nonverbal and have some physical limitations. It doesn't matter.
It's just finding them where they're at and getting them to be able to enjoy making some music.
And they do.
He felt those vibrations. It just brought him alive. And that's the moment when I realized that's the power of music.
Which brings us back to the ocean. Powerful, mysterious, rough, stormy at times, but also magical.
If somebody wants to be part of what you're doing, find a place for them.
A career teacher who's learned the value of going with the flow, moving all his kids like music moves him.
I was a band director, and now I am a teacher, and music is the vehicle. It's about connecting and meaningfulness, because to me that's what it's all about. You got to feel that you're part of something. Bye, Joes.
Great teachers really do make a world of difference. If you know of a top-notch teacher, please nominate him or her over at channel3000.com. Click on the News tab, then Education. That's where you can find our top-notch teachers. Well, in more local news now, a lot is on the line in the Badgers' final regular season game today. In addition to Paul Bunyan's axe, a trip to the Big Ten Championship and a possible spot in the Rose Bowl are up for grabs as the Badgers head to the Twin Cities to face the Minnesota Golden Gophers. The Badgers lost the axe to Minnesota last year in Camp Randall. That was the first time since 2003 that Minnesota beat Wisconsin in their annual rivalry game. So when the Gophers won Paul Bunyan's axe for the first time in 14 years last November, they paraded that thing all over the state. Some Badger fans and players were a little miffed the Gophers made such a big deal about it. But ahead of today's big game, Gophers head coach PJ Fleck tells Badger fans, don't be offended by the celebration.
I don't see that at all that way. Our state of Minnesota hadn't seen the axe for 15 years. I mean, that's like finding your long-lost grandfather and knowing that he exists, and then you find him. Don't you want to go see him? If he exists and he's in the state, you're going to probably drive and see the guy. It's the same thing. It wasn't like we were holding it out the window, driving through the entire state of Wisconsin. That would be showing off. But sharing it with our in-state alums, donors, boosters, supporters, I think that's culture. I think that's tradition.
It's a big game, big opportunity. It's definitely be fun. It's going to be a great feeling to get that axe back.
Our sports team is in the Twin Cities today and will be broadcasting live all day long. You could follow them on social media and right here on News 3 Now. Kickoff is at 2:30. Time now 8:37 from Monroe to State to Willie. Madison has no shortage of streets lined with small businesses. And today is the day we celebrate them. We'll hear about the unique ways you can find great gifts and undeniable deals around town next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday.
Good morning. We've been tracking some light areas of precipitation so far this morning. A lot of that has been towards our north and east or the south and west. Speaking of southwest, that's where we're warming up for rain. Platteville, places like Radiant towards Waldwick, all getting ready to get in on a little bit of light shower activity. Let's jump towards the north and east now. Fond du Lac, Oshkosh, all along Lake Winnebago. That's where we're seeing some additional sleet and snow at the moment. In the meantime, we're at 36 with some light drizzle at the airport. Look for the drizzle, the liquid precipitation, to be the main story as we go throughout the rest of the day. Temperatures hover in the upper 30s.
Every time you order a drink at your local coffee shop or buy clothes from a mom and pop store, you're making an impact in your community. Today is the 10th annual Small Business Saturday, and for every dollar spent at a small business, about 67 cents stays in the local community. Carol Schroeder from the Monroe Street Merchants Association is with us this morning. Carol, you're better known by some people in the community as Orange because you own Orange Tree Imports.
Yes.
How long have you owned that business?
We've been on Monroe Street for 44 years.
Okay, so a real community staple. And
Yes.
Monroe Street has been a hub for small businesses here in Madison. What are some of the benefits of owning a shop there?
It's a wonderful place to have a business because we're almost entirely locally owned. We support each other. We get wonderful support from not only the Monroe Street neighborhood, but also the entire Madison community, because Madison really values locally owned businesses, and we're very fortunate to be in a city that's true of.
And it's true all year round, but especially today, Small Business Saturday. So what special deals are you offering customers?
You know, we're delighted that American Express came up with the idea of promoting shopping locally, and we've taken advantage of it for 10 years. This year, we're celebrating 1 year post-road work on Monroe Street, and about 30 of our businesses have pooled together to contribute gift cards so that in each business, shoppers will have a chance to win one of the Shop Small tote bags that American Express has provided, and in that tote bag will be a gift card to a different business, because we want to encourage everyone to shop and dine and live on Monroe Street in all of our 60-some locally owned businesses.
And supporting each other has been something that you've done, as you mentioned, all through road work. You gave me a whole list. These are all of the stores that are participating. It's a long list. It fills the entire page. So what has it been like to be part of that community specifically?
You know, I really love my fellow business owners, and I benefit from their customers coming into my shop. And we also share promotions, the biggest one being the Monroe Street Festival, but we have Holiday Glow on Monroe coming up on December 7th, and of course Small Business Saturday. For us, it's particularly significant this year because not only are we a year after the big roadwork project, but there's no home Badger game. And when there's a home Badger game on Small Business Saturday, it's a little harder for people to get to Monroe Street.
Yeah, because of all the cars and traffic.
Exactly.
And just last question, if anyone is watching this at home and they're weighing the decision of whether or not to make it out of the house today, go shopping, maybe they're a little full from all that turkey we had, what would you say to them?
Well, take a look at MonroeStreetMadison.com to see all of the participating businesses, and come have a relaxing day and an entertaining day. It'll be a chance to really be part of the community and support local business at the same time that you're enjoying an outing, walking off some turkey, and getting a start on some Christmas shopping.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Carol. And I do want to point out your necklace. That is from your store. I know it was the first thing I complimented you on when I saw you.
And it kind of matches the Shop Small circles. Yes, exactly.
Yes, perfectly themed. Thank you so much, and good luck today with your business.
Thank you. We appreciate being here.
Well, this weekend's weather shouldn't dampen all of your shopping, but it could impact this afternoon's Badger game. Here's a live look over the Capitol. Chris is back with a look ahead at your kickoff forecast on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. But first, let's take a look and celebrate who's turning 3 years old today. Happy birthday to Tucker and everyone else celebrating this holiday weekend.
Well, yesterday I mentioned that it would be a good day to put up those outdoor Christmas decorations. That's simply because today the rainfall is certainly on the way. So if you want to do the outdoor lights, that's only if it can't wait. And even then, I do it early on because, nope, forget it. By the time we get you towards this afternoon, that's as some of the heavier rain begins to move on in. We're damp outside right now, plenty of drizzle out there, but the radar itself is actually free of any widespread precipitation. That's throughout Madison and Fitchburg. Same for our friends in Evansville as you work your way down towards Brodhead and Beloit as well. We are starting to see at least some showers start to develop around Lone Rock and Platteville. That's working its way over towards the north and east as we speak. We're also seeing at least some flurries and drizzle as you work your way up towards Fond du Lac. But the real storm is still gathering its strength across the high plains right now. Heavy snow falling throughout the Dakotas into parts of Minnesota as well. Even northern Wisconsin had a little period of some heavier snow earlier, but the worst of the storm is still yet to come as we go throughout the day. So we do have the winter storm warnings for northern Wisconsin. That goes through to the Twin Cities, and then blizzard warnings as you work your way throughout parts of Nebraska and South Dakota as well. Here's that storm system overall. Let's go ahead and time it out. Here we are at 8:30 tonight. Here's the warm front that's moved over southern Wisconsin. That is why we will be seeing rain. The colder side of this system is the northern side of that front and the low. That's where the snow will certainly be all along I-94 as you work your way towards the north. Let's continue to push this forward now, and we're at 4 a.m. on Sunday. Here's what I want to show. Notice that snow line is starting to move towards the south. As this low tracks right on top of us, folks, I actually would not be surprised to see some dry hours earlier on the day tomorrow. But then as we move into the afternoon, that's when the snow wraps back in. So now we're at 1:30 on Sunday. This is just after lunchtime now. The colder air moves back in. We start to see a band of snow moving in from the north, and that can linger into the afternoon. 4 o'clock, we're still seeing some of those light snowflakes. And then by about 7:30 or 8, that's when I think some of that drier air works its way in and we begin to see things taper off. How much snow could we see? In Madison, not a lot, perhaps an inch or two. I think this model is very much on the high side. Most areas will likely see under an inch, but several inches are possible as you work your way through the northern part of the state. That is why they do have the winter storm warning there. That is also why we do have the alert day in our forecast. But then temperatures do stay cold, actually. I wanted to say warm up. I was thinking of the sun. With the sunshine, it's just ultimately going to feel somewhat warmer for our forecast. And then here's your pet walk, Shiloh and Maddie in Poynette. Poynette, a place that'll likely see some accumulating snows tomorrow.
I love how you're trying so hard to be positive.
Well, you know, sunshine is certainly something positive. And for me, I don't mind the temperatures. It's not bad at this point of the year.
And especially compared to last January, I feel like anything above negative 30 now is pretty
warm.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So it could always be worse.
It can.
Yes.
Great mantra for weather in life. Thanks, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, be sure to stick with News 3 Now all day long. Then tomorrow morning, what better way to use your Thanksgiving leftovers than by throwing them together in a sandwich? We'll have some easy ideas for kids and adults. That's starting at 6:30. But first, we're introducing you to some kids who wanted to take a crack at cooking their Thanksgiving turkeys. They give us some sage advice and some that might have you just saying, really? We're back in a moment. Finally this morning, anyone who's hosted Thanksgiving this week, knows there's a lot of time and energy spent making sure everything is ready in time. Those of us who haven't, me, just might not know how much work there is to it, and that includes kids.
Yeah, we thought it would be fun to ask some kids at Chavez Elementary what they think goes into cooking a turkey, and take a look at what they had to say to our News 3 Now This Morning team.
How do you cook a turkey?
In the stove. Buy one from the store, and then I would cook it in the oven.
In a microwave. My mom does, but if I cook the turkey, I would probably just put it in the oven for like an hour.
Buy a turkey at the store, heat it up.
What temperature would you cook the turkey at?
50, 30 degrees.
8? Oh, that sounds good.
How long would you cook a turkey for?
1 minute. 4 minutes.
A long hour. 4 hours.
And how do you know when your turkey is done?
When it looks like it's fresh.
When the stove beeps.
If it's like too warm, then put it back in the oven and make sure that it burns.
What are you most thankful for?
My family and my sister and everybody in the whole entire world.
A great family.
Having a great family and having a house.
A house and a great big family.
Turkey.
They are so cute. And is there anything that you didn't realize how hard it was to cook growing up?
How hard it was to cook, maybe not, but what I didn't realize is how hard it was, or shall I say how expensive it was to present.
Okay.
Because I don't know, that's very valuable in our
prices.
family. So the presentation of everything, but that's okay. I was still good to go. Came in under budget.
And you hosted a beautiful Thanksgiving. If anyone
Thank
wants
you.
to check it out, I know you have some posted
I have
on your...
pictures on Facebook. Yeah, presentation is really big in our family. Speaking of presentation, the weather. Since we have to talk about that one. Hey, this week, I mean, Monday through Sunday of next week is going to be absolutely gorgeous. I think we may see a couple cloudy days because you know how it is this time of the year in the upper Midwest. But we're still watching rain for today with snow and an alert day for your Sunday.
No 20s. Let's call that a win, right? It's a win. Well, we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 6:30. But have a great Saturday, everyone. Go Badgers.